At first, man did not exist, but animals definitely did, and those were prehistoric. Technically, mammoths are also prehistoric, right? Yes, there were prehistoric raptors and mammoths, and a bunch of other species, but this is all we can do in tabs, okay? So we're just shh. Anyways, these species fought themselves until man started appearing on Earth. Okay, it wasn't always the mammoth victory, okay? Just pull a break here. And then man did exist, and he started searching. What is his purpose in life? So he started praying to the rock gods. Why is this not a secret unit yet? Come on. He still searched for a purpose and what to do. So he crafted a giant club. Great! And then I think he shaved his beard, and then he said, what if I throw this rock? Right? This rock could able to hurt people or other rocks, you know whatever. And then he shaved the rest of his head or hair, and he made a giant pointy, you know what they're called, and he used the animals' horns and other stuff as decoration. Great! And despite being given this big brain, man decided to fight over the land and resources. Why is man always fighting stuff? We may never find out. But man learned the hard way that when these pointy spears come into your stomach, yeah, it really hurts. It really hurts. So man decided to construct new technologies. Man thought, why don't I take a huge lump of tree and string it right over here? And somehow he managed to carve a great hole in it so you can see through it. So let's see if the technology was actually a success. You see, that is what happens when you put holes, guys. See, stitches get snitches, okay? But it did work. As you can probably see, it worked, but it was the tribal method. And then the shaman appeared with his apprentices. Man still wondered, why was he sent here? Are there gods? Is there a purpose to life? And then with the progress of time, man changed everything. Man made water mills, food storage, hay bales and wagons. Yes. Man saw the scenery and nature. They built scarecrows to protect their crops from being destroyed. They started harvesting the crops with new technologies. They started making clothes so that children can have nice clothing to wear, and farmers used pitchforks to grow pumpkins, carrots, and nothing. That spot is for oranges. They started making the first wheeled vehicles to be known to give a ride to the children. You see, he's a learning farmer and he's learning how to wield this pitchfork like Neptune. And then man made beautiful houses and added lights as well. This is amazing. And man used potion craft to increase vegetable. What does that mean? Vegetable protein. Vegetables have protein. I don't know. A googly non-bearded potion seller. But this progression was started by not the smartest type of brood of men. They were still at the farmer's era, while suddenly someone popped through the gate. These clever people had already started believing in God. and wore not even bucket helmets. I mean, look at this. This is plain metal armor and iron swords. These guys were ready with even shields and swords, and even started to learn how to shoot projectiles using new technologies. You see? And this was their king. I don't know what we should name him. Leave your comment suggestions what we should name the king, okay? We'll make an entire story out of him. And he commanded to give him their crops, or else he would have their lands demolished. The farmers disagreed, and so began War of Man. So man started waging wars. Those arrows, yeah, they definitely do stuff. And these rocks, they used machines to throw rocks, and they would definitely, oh yeah, you see, when you get hit by that rock, oh, man did not care about friendly fire. Okay, interesting. Anyways, man started learning that other men were also progressing against them and smiting them. So man thought that he would be able to get respect by praising to the gods. So man made beautiful cities of Greece and Rome and prayed to the god. I don't know who that is. He might be, who was it, like Olympus, or maybe Leonidas? Who knows? But they started praying and they started worshipping their gods, and they understood that pikes, those little tiny things that if you put through a man, he would bleed very badly. And as many as they came in a narrow lane, pikes worked lovely. So now we will see the progress made by man, and as you can see, pikes proved to be very fatal in narrow lanes. And then man learned to make better shields which can better absorb range fire of Little Head Robin Hood. They made beautiful cities of Atlantis, and man still wondered. Still, he wondered, what's it all about? But then man prayed so hard that God finally did appear. Right? This is Zeus, the god of lightning. Yeah, god of lightning, not of thunder. That's Thor. But while these people started respecting and admiring their god, there were more kingdoms building up on the Norse regions, and they were cold-blooded, hot, Cold War people. We're gonna just pretend that I never said those phrase of words. Anyways, they were from the Norse lands, and they were led by their captain Jarl, with his magical winged creatures, which he liked to call Lalcaries. They didn't respect these gods. They didn't respect any gods, to be honest. They were the cutters, as you might see. See how that thin that axe is? See? Yeah, that's used for cutting. They were the cutters, and they didn't believe these gods. So they started fighting them, but they knew that this was a bad idea when the pikes came down from a small stairs, and they knew how to jump like 10 feet. So yeah, they started cutting down people, but they didn't know the power of the god. Yeah, they definitely didn't know, because once God started smiting these mortals, their wings became black. Why didn't the wings become black? Shit. Anyways, they became very temperamental, and they could not Yeah, you see how that is when you get smited by God? That happens. Anyways, they started seeing that gods really did exist. The king's invaders were sent to every country known to man to spread the message of who's going to be ruling the lands. But these guys, the dynasty worshippers, the believers in mythologies, they did complain. They complained of their martial arts to be secretive, and they kicked them real hard in the guts if they did not disobey. If they did not obey. So man thought, why should we make everyone our enemy? Why can't we make allies? So these were small problems, but there were more people who were going to destroy the king's army, and therefore man thought of making some allies. The ancient people respected the farmers, so the farmers joined the ancient people. Meanwhile, the king loved art, and because of the Renaissance had beautiful painters, the king thought of making the Renaissance his friends. Even they would get firepower, they would get horses which started existing after man. Who knows? Anyways, they started existing after man, and then they had superior weaponry. Yeah, leather coating, not bucket helmet, those are purely crystallite. Yes, and tanks with cannons, of course. Yeah, this was a very strong bond. Some people, however, started dark art practice. They started using the wrong cultures and started blowing people up, and they prayed hard for the gods to vanish and other deities of the dark ways to come. And as they prayed, slowly by time, things got dark. That's right. The culture that they inhabited was of the dark ages, the hallucinations, the pumpkins, the graveyards, and the burial places. And by the power of Zeus and the gods, all men who wasted their lives idly, not praying, and everyone who was lazy and bozoing was sent to hell. And at hell, off the doorstep of hell, they encountered Mr. Death, the Grim Reaper, who would take eternal pain, power from God, and use it to destroy these people and rebuild them and torment them hell. So man started worshipping even harder and praying so that he would not get hell. As the king's men started exploring the Renaissance beautiful city, this is a paradise on earth, with his best painters and the other painters who were not so best in their work, but they still entertained the king. They started marching forward, and they started seeing these boats, and they knew there had to be another man's discovery, which was a new mankind which was developing somewhere else. Here man saw buried treasure, and he saw gunpowder as it was washed on the sea floor. Near, he started making gun-powered guns. he started making shotguns, the old class shotgun, the blunderbuss. And with all these barrels and jewelry, he started making armor which protected from the heat and other stuff. And they started protecting these lands that they came to known as the pirates. They used harpoon technology to capture whales. They built ships out of metaphorical gold and platinum and crystalite. But while these things were happening over at the Asian places, these was what America looked like. They started excavating mineral resources and started blowing stuff up to see what they could find. Man started building beautiful buildings and naming them saloons, and the sheriff, as known as the sheriff, they started catching bad guys and started establishing law. So they hired bounty hunters who would catch the culprits and they would offer them rewards. They had residential buildings, sheriff, they had hardware stores, they had hotel for newcomers to stay, and they had the bank which bad people would probably rob. They had more residential buildings. They had the guns, tobacco, of course they had guns. They had behind the sheriff building the lockup and the prisoner bringing cells, and this was known as the Wild Wild West. The Vikings continued with the pirates, started using these harpoons to capture giants, and it was quite easy as they would stretch him out to bits until he would get a little dowsy. He would get a little dowsy. Oh, come on. I said he would get a little dowsy. He still exploded people, okay? They tried to knock him out, but that wasn't quite working. So, yeah. They all started waiting, and he saw that the giant could be captured. First off, Vikings thought all gods were bad and they did not deserve a Norse god. They were all good, cutting and slaving by themselves. But then the god of Vikings did appear, the Ulr. They did not believe him, so they started attacking him, and they then saw that he froze people just like their temperature. And they immediately joined him as they saw that phenomenon. As soon as they saw it, they started worshipping him, encircling him, and they used him to conquer their foes. And this is how mankind started developing in natural arts. Raptors did not exist in this point of time, but still the sheriff were very, very keen into protecting their lands against any danger. Very efficiently. You see that reload? That's what I'm talking about. But when the smart people found exotic creatures, they wanted to capture it as they would show it to the law or to their king. And we're just gonna not pretend that he missed. We're gonna say that they captured these creatures and then they took them to their king. And this is quite literally how it was decided on those days who was gonna be king. I mean, I know it was the monarchy rule, the son would become that. But when there were no son, when they were just kings, then this would be just a tragedy. You see, they would just fight it out. The blue king versus the red one, and whoever won would take over the throne. See, it was just that simple. They were quite strong, you know. They were highly trained to be the king of the beautiful, beautiful lands that they will rule. But eventually one died and the other rose. But I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I really wanted to make like a Tab cinematic video of like how Tabs has progressed so far and all the factions have become realistic up to time and dates. So yeah, this worked out pretty well. So if you guys really want me to return back or to continue with Tabs, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.